If you are someone thinking about selling and buying at the same time, but have been wondering which one should come first, you're at the right place. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the process of selling and buying at the same time. Let's take a look at the different scenarios when we are in such a situation. The first one is that you have enough cash to buy the next house with 100% cash purchase. Then by all means, go ahead and buy the next house, move in, and then put your current house on the market. The second scenario is that you have some cash to be used as a down payment for the purchase of the next house. You are qualified to get a mortgage for the next house without selling the current house. If in that case, by all means, go ahead to buy the next house, move in, and then sell your current house. The advantage of these two different scenarios is that you get the luxury of time. We all know that over the past several years, we have been facing restricted or limited inventory. Even this year, we have seen a bit more houses on the market, but we still don't have enough inventory to satisfy the buyer's demand, especially the good houses. So when you have the luxury of time and you can take the time to look for your next house until you find a house that is up to your liking. So that's the advantage of these two situations. However, the majority of us belong to the next scenario, which is we need to use the money from selling the current house to buy the next house. In this case, and we have different approaches depending on the situation. Let me explain. So whenever you are in such a situation, my first and foremost emphasis is to have a clear understanding of your finances. And by doing that, you want to hire an experienced local realtor who understands the local market very well to give you an equity analysis report. This way you can have an understanding of how much money you will be able to net from as a result of selling the home. At the same time, go to have a conversation with an experienced mortgage lender to find out how much a house you will be able to afford. You may ask me, you may say, oh, I bought a house before and I own a house, and why do I need to have a pre-approval? Because many things have changed and years have passed since you bought a house the last time. Your credit score, your debt situation, the current mortgage environment, and more importantly, housing prices have gone up so much over the past several years, and your understanding of your affordability might not necessarily be aligned with the current market situation. So to be on the safe side, you want to know ahead of time how much a house you will be able to afford if you sell the current one, so you don't end up becoming homeless if you not done your due diligence beforehand. And after you have all your numbers squared away, then the next thing to do is that never put the cart before the horse, meaning the cart is your next house and then the horse is your current house. You don't want to buy the next house before your current house is sold or at least under contract. So when it comes to selling your house, as a seller, there are different ways for you to approach this. Number one, you can sell your current house and then move into a short-term rental. This way, you don't have the time pressure to say, I have to find the next house within a certain period of time. You just live in the rental and go look for your houses. If you need more time to look for the next house, then at least you get the option to extend your lease until stay at the rental until you find a suitable house. Another way, the advantage of moving into a short-term rental is that you don't have the time pressure. You can take your time to look for houses, especially when the market has a limited inventory. The downside is that you will have to move twice because you have to move out of your current house into a short-term rental, and then until you find a suitable house, you have to move again. And sometimes you even have to put your furniture into a storage, so that's additional cost and the trouble. The next approach is that this was very popular during the crazy sellers market during the pandemic years. That is, you sell the house, close the deal, and then rent the house back from the buyer of your house. And the advantage of doing this is that you only have to move once. You live here until you find your next house, and then you move to your next house directly, right? But the downside is that the time restriction, because the time you have in looking for the next house is at the mercy of the buyer of your house. And when there are more similar houses on the market, and then so there's a risk that if you take too long to find your next house, then maybe the buyer is not willing to wait for you anymore and decide to choose to walk away from your house. Then you will have to start the process again, which is not good for you. And other than that, there are two different approaches. These two approaches, the choice of using either of these approaches will depend on the market condition, the condition of the market where your next house is located. For instance, the market of your next house is still very competitive. In that case, you probably want to use a bridge loan. How it works is that you're going to get the money from the lender, and then with that money, you can make a lender-backed cash offer. This way, you will be competitive enough to increase your chance of winning the house. After you get a house, you move in, and then you can sell your current house. If the market is, say, has a lot of inventory and the houses are just sitting on the market, not moving, in that case, you can go to make an offer after your current house is in escrow, because this way you can show the listing agent of the next house that at least that your current house is already under contract and all the contingencies have been cleared. So give them assurance that there's a higher chance, there's more certainty for you to be able to close the purchase of that house, right? So there are different ways of selling and buying at the same time. It's a simple process, however, it's not easy because there are many moving parts involved that can affect the ultimate result of either transactions. So just want to make sure that you team up with an experienced agent who can help you navigate the process and make sure everything is handled properly to enhance the success of the result. So I hope this helped. If you are in the preparation stage and there's a video you might want to take a look, that is the top 5 mistakes that people usually make when they think about downsizing. I hope you find the content helpful, and thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.